Okay, so in this video we're doing some coordinate geometry revision for third years. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is write down the coordinates of P and Q. Now remember, the horizontal line is the x-axis and the vertical line is the y-axis. To find the x-axis, we first go along the horizontal line and we find out where P is. So we go here and the x value for P is 2. Now remember, the x value always comes first and the y value comes second. So the x value for P is going to be 2. And the y value for P is also going to be 2. So P is 2, 2. Now Q, let's find the x value of Q. The x value of Q is minus 3. And the y value of Q is going to be, we go down the y-axis, and once we're level Q, it's going to be minus 1. Okay, that's the first question. Now, we're asked to find the midpoint of CD. C is the point 5 minus 4 and D is the point 3, 8. What we need to do is we need to find x1 and y1. So let's call this one x1, and if you call that one x1, the second one must be y1, this must be x2, and the next part must be y2. We're asked for the midpoint, so we're going to use the midpoint formula. Here's the midpoint formula here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get x1, which is 5, plus x2, which is 3, and we're going to divide that by 2. Okay, we're going to put in those big brackets there. And the second part we're going to do is we're going to put y1 plus y2. So y1 is bracket minus 4. Now remember to input all minus numbers into brackets, plus y2, which is plus 8 divided by 2. And what we're going to get here is we're going to get 8 divided by 2. And if you put that in the calculator, you're going to get 4 divided by 2. And this is going to give us the answer 4, 2. Okay, now for the slope. And the slope is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. That's the slope formula, okay, the slope formula. So therefore slope is going to be equal to, now remember, y2 is 8. So we're going to have 8 minus 4, because y1 is minus 4, divided by 3 minus 5. And what we're going to end up here is we're going to end up with 12 divided by minus 2. Now remember, when you have two minuses together like this, your calculator should tell you it's a plus. So 8 plus 4 gives you 12. 3 minus 5 gives you minus 2. And when you put that into your calculator, you should get the slope is minus 6. Okay, the next question, we're on the length of CD. Once again, we're just going to use the length formula here. Okay, so we're using the length formula. So what we're going to get is the square root of x2 minus x1. x2 is 3, x1 is 5. So that's going to be 3 minus 5 squared plus 8 minus 4 squared. Okay, if you put that into your calculator, it should give you the answer exactly as it is. However, if you want to break this down somewhat, you're going to get this is going to be minus 2 squared. This is going to be, once again, two minuses together makes that a plus. That's going to be 8 plus 4, and that's going to give you 12 squared. And then when you get the square root of both of them, it's going to end up to be the square root. You're going to add them together into your calculator. You're going to get 4 plus 144. Because minus 2 squared is 4, and 12 squared is 144. And what we're going to get is the square root of 148. Is the answer, okay? And root 148, that's going to be equal to 12. It can also be written as 2 root 37, which is also the same as 12.17 when rounded off. Okay. Next question. Next question is to verify that a point is on the line. When you're asked to verify that a point is on the line, you want to prove that it actually exists on this line, okay? So what we can do here, is also we need to do is, if it verifies it, the equation will balance, right? So this is the equation of the line, and if this point is on the line, the x value is 1 and the y value is 2. So if this point is on the line, it should satisfy the equation of the line. So what we're going to get is y, which is 2, y is 2, equals 5 multiplied by 1 minus 3. 2 equals 2. This is true. Hence, point is on line. If it wasn't true, they wouldn't equal each other. Okay. Now we're looking to find we're trying to find where this line hits the y-axis. Okay, so usually there's a line, and the line will hit the y-axis. Okay, this is what's called the intersection of L and the y-axis. Okay, so we're trying to find out where the line hits the y-axis. We do this by letting x equal 0, because x equals 0 is for all points on this line. Okay, so also we got to do is y equals 5x minus 3, x equals 0, so it's going to be 5 times 0 minus 3, and therefore y is going to be equal to minus 3. Okay. Now, the next question is, we got, this means the point of intersection is the point 0, because x is 0 and y is minus 3. Okay. Now, the next question is basically asking us to draw this line. If we have any 2 points, it means we can draw the line. Okay. So if we were to look at this line here, okay, so there's a line there. Okay, and where we can put another line is maybe over here. Actually, I'll just use this here to draw my lines. It'd probably be a bit easier. Okay, just undo that for a minute. So there's my second line. Okay, so there's my axis right here. So what I'm going to do next is going to put in my my numbers. So this can be done. You can let one. This can be 1. This can be 2. This can be 3. This one here is going to be minus 1. This one here can be minus 2. This one here can be minus 3. This can be 1. This can be 2. This can be 3. This here is going to be minus 1. This one here is going to be minus 2. And then finally the one down here, this here is going to be minus 3. Now, we know the 2 points on the line. If we read the previous two parts, okay, we know that 1 point on the line, is 1, 2, and the other point is 0, 3. So 1, 2 and 0 minus 3 are on this line. So let's put a point on 1, 2. X equals 1, y equals 2 is going to be here. And then the second point on the line is going to be 0 minus 3. X equals 0 here, and there's our minus 3 here. And also what we got to do is just link them up together using a line. So this is all we got to do here. And that is our line. Our line is drawn. Okay? This is our line. Now some people might, and that's their line. Okay? Now, next question. A is the point minus 2, 1. This basically means x equals minus 2, y equals 1. And for this one here, x equals 3, y equals minus 2. And we want to draw it over here. Okay, now make sure to label it, alright? So x is minus 2, this is the x-axis, look for minus 2. And then go to the y-axis and look for 1. 1's here. So this is the point. Right here is going to be point A, which is minus 2, 1. Next point we're looking for is 3 minus 2. We go across 3 and we go down to minus 2. And this is the point B. Okay. Next part, we're looking for the slope of PQ. Now let P be x1, y1. Q be x2, y2. Okay. Now the formula for the slope is 2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, as we said before, we're going to look for y2. y2 is the number 1. y1 is minus 3. And that's going to be divided by that's going to be 1 minus 3. and then the bottom one is going to be x2 is minus 3, x2 is minus 3, minus, find out what x1 is, x1 is 5, and then we're going to get minus 2 divided by minus 8, and that's going to be equal to a quarter. Okay, now we're going to look for the midpoint of PQ, and the midpoint formula looks like this. Okay, the midpoint formula is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, that gives you the x point, and y1 plus y2 gives you the y point divided by 2. So all we got to do is put in our numbers from here into the equation, and we should find out what the midpoint is. Now remember what the midpoint actually means. If you have a line and you have 2 points, the midpoint formula finds the middle of that line. Okay? What the slope does is the slope finds how steep your slope, your line is. Okay, finds the steepness of your line. Okay. Now, what we're doing here is we're finding the midpoint, and to find the midpoint, what we're going to end up with is x1 is 5 plus x2. x2 is minus 3. Make sure to put it in brackets. Divided by 2. Now we're going to get y1 is 3, y2 is 2. We're going to divide that by 2. We're going to put this into our calculator, and what we're going to get is we're going to get 2 divided by 2 and 4 divided by 2, and the answer will be 1, 2. Now you could just put this directly into your, put each side into the calculator separately, and you should get the answer. So a green and a blue bubble respectively. Okay, will give you the green answer here and the blue answer here. Okay, so the answer once again is going to be 1, 2. Now the length of the line, which is basically giving us how long the distance is between 2 points, the length of the line, and this formula for the length is going to be the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, and what we're going to get here is the following: d equals, now keep the square root sign going. Okay, so the square root of x2 is minus 3 minus x1 is minus 5 plus y2 is 1, y1 is 3, and we're going to square both of them here. Okay, and what the distance formula is going to give us is it's going to give us the square root of, put this into your calculator. Now what you can do in the test is you can just put this straight into your calculator at this point, and you'll get the answer out. I'm just going to develop it 1 or 2 steps more. I'm going to get minus 8 squared plus minus 2 squared. Okay, when I put that into calculator, it's going to give me square root of 68, and the square root of 68 is the same as 2 root 17, and that in turn is the same as 8.25. Okay, now next one. The line K contains the point minus 1, 6. K has a slope of 2. Find the equation of K. The equation of K is a line, so we're looking for the equation of a line. Okay, you go to your tables and you find the equation of a line formula. This here is the equation of the line formula. Okay, and this is the equation of the line formula. Okay, so to use the equation of the y formula, what we remember is that these two letters here, y and x, for the equation of the line formula, we never sub in for these, so the two of these stay the same. Okay, so what we need to know is the slope. The slope, which is m, is the number 2. Okay, x1, which is going to be green, is this one here, and y1 is this one here, the 6. Okay, so when we do this formula, we're going to get y minus 6 equals 2 into x minus 1. Now in your calculator, what you can do here is put minus minus 1 into your calculator, and what it will tell you is it's x plus 1. Okay, so what we're going to get here is y minus 6 equals 2 into x plus 1, and then what we can do is we can multiply these out. So what we're going to get is y minus 6 equals 2x plus 2. What I want us to do is get the y on its own, so bring the 6 over the other side, and what we can get here is y equals 2x plus 2 plus 6, y equals 2x plus 8. Okay? Now, by letting x equal 0, find the coordinates of S, the point of intersection of K and the y-axis. So once again, I want to figure out where my line hits the y-axis. Okay? So where does it hit the y-axis? Okay? Now, what we know is the form of the line y equals 2x plus 8. We know that x equals 0. Okay? So y equals 2 times 0 plus 8. Y equals 0 plus 8. This must mean y equals 8. Now remember, the word coordinates means you need a point. Okay? We know that the x point is 0, which must mean the y point is 8. This point here is going to be 0, 8. Okay? Now, it wants us to write down the coordinates of the point A. Once again, coordinates means x and y. The x value is 3, and the y value is minus 2. Okay, and that's all there is to that one. So it's, the answer for A is going to be 3 minus 2. Okay, next one. Find the midpoint of PQ. Okay, so P is going to be x1 and y1. Q is going to be x2 and y2. The midpoint basically means, once again, you have 2 points and you want to find out what's in between, what's dead center of the 2 points. So that's what the midpoint formula stands for. So the midpoint formula ends up to be equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2 plus y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we gotta put in our values, and what we're going to get is 1 plus 5 divided by 2 into y1 plus y2, which is going to be 2 plus bracket minus 8 divided by 2. Now you can put this into your calculator exactly as it looks, but we'll just go one more. We get 6 divided by 2. Put this green part into your calculator exactly as it looks, and what you'll get is minus 6 divided by 2. And what you're going to get here is 3 bracket minus 3. Okay, so that's going to be the midpoint, 3 bracket minus 3. Now we're going to look for the slope of PQ. Now the slope basically means how much slant is there on my line, or what type of slant do I have on my line. Okay, so what we can say about the slope is that the formula for the slope is simply gotten by saying y2 minus y1 equals x2 minus x1. That's always the formula for the slope. And all we got to do is just put in our numbers. We know that y2 is minus 8. We know that y1 is just simply 2 minus 2. y2 is 8, y1 is minus 2. And we're going to divide that by 5. x2 is 5 and x1 is minus 1. And what we're going to get is minus 10 divided by 4. We're going to put this into our calculator and figure out what fraction this is, and we know that this fraction is minus 5 over 2. Okay, the next question we're asked is for the length. Basically, what distance is the line? Okay, so we're looking for the distance of the line, or the length of the line. So, length ends up to be the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And what we're going to get here, if we just put it all into the brackets, okay, so what we're going to get is 5, x2 is 5, x1 is minus 1, is 1, x1 is 1, minus is minus, plus, and then y2 is minus 8, y1 minus y1 is minus 2 squared. And then we can just put this in the calculator, and what we'll get is 4 squared plus minus 10 squared. Okay, and what we can get out of this is the square root of 116 when you put it into the calculator, and that equals 10.77. Okay, next one. The line L, so remember L, capital L is a line. It has the point 21, 21 being x1 and y1. It has a slope of 3, m equals 3. Find the equation of L. This once again means the equation of a line. Okay, so you need to find the equation of a line. And the formula for equation of the line is y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. Now, as discussed before, the y and the x are going to be protected. Okay, so the y and the x are going to be protected. The 3 is going to be the m, the blue is the x1, and the purple one is the y1. Okay, so what we can say here is the following: y is protected, y1 is 1, m is 3, x remains as x, x1 is 2, so hence minus 2. All we gotta do is multiply this out, and then we get y minus 1 equals 3x minus 6. Bring over the minus, and we get y equals 3x minus 6 plus 1, y equals 3x minus 5. Okay, that's easy enough. Now, next question. By letting y equal 0, okay, so what we need to do is we need to write down our formula. Y equals 3x minus 5, okay, is the equation of L. Now, coordinates means we're looking for an x and a y value, okay, we're looking for a point. By letting y equal 0, find the point of intersection of the line L. This here is the line L, the formula for the line L, and the x-axis, okay. So what we need to realize about this formula is that we want to find out where it hits the x-axis. So the x-axis intercept, okay. And what we know about the x-axis intercept is that the y value has to be equal to 0. So the answer is going to be something 0. Okay, so we have to find out what x is. So y is 0. Now 3x minus 5. So we're going to bring the minus 5 over to the other side. So now we know that minus 5 equals. We won't bring the minus 5 over to the other side. Excuse me. We always bring the 3 over to the other side. Okay, so what we're going to get here is 3x minus 5. Let's bring the 3 over to the other side. It doesn't matter which way you do, but I want to keep it the same for you guys, okay? So minus 3x equals minus 5. And then what we're going to get is x equals minus 5 divided by minus 3. Put that into your calculator. So basically enter what's in the red box into the calculator. And what you're going to get is 5 over 3. So the answer is going to be 5 over 3, 0. So what's in the green box is the answer. Okay. Now, next question. A is the point 2, 1. 2, 1. This is the point A. B is the point minus 2 on the x-axis, minus 3 on the y-axis. B is down here. Okay. Next question. Find the midpoint of PQ. So P and Q look like something like this, and then we have a midpoint in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down the midpoint formula. Midpoint equals x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay. Now, what's going to happen here is the following. We now know we have to make a list of what's what. 3 is going to be x1, y1 is going to be minus 3, 5 is going to be x2, and y2 is going to be minus 1. Okay, so now what we're going to get equal to is this. x1 is going to be 3 plus 5 divided by 2. y1 is going to be minus 3 plus minus 1, plus minus 1, minus 3 plus minus 1, and that's all going to be divided by 2. Okay. Okay, so that's going to be minus 3. So midpoint is minus 3. So we're going to put this into our calculator, and what we get is 8. We're going to get 8 over 2. And when you put this part into your calculator, the green part into your calculator here, what we're going to get is minus 4 divided by 2. Enter these two fractions into your calculator, and what you're going to get is the red part is going to be 4, and the purple part, which is this part here, is going to be minus 2. Okay, so you're going to get 4 minus 2. The next part we got to get is the slope, and the slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So the slope of the line PQ. Now y1 is minus 1. Sorry, y2 is minus 1 minus y1, which is minus 3, divided by x2. x2 is 5. X minus x1 is 3. And now we're just going to put this into our calculator. Put this blue box here into the calculator, and what we get when we put that into the calculator is we're going to get plus 2. Okay, we're just going to get 2, and then when we enter this into a calculator, the red part here, we get 2 there as well. Finally, we're just going to enter 2 divided by 2 into our calculator, and the answer here will be 1. Okay. Now, the equation of the line PQ. Okay, the equation of a line is y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. Now, what we need to know about this formula is, remember that y and x are always protected, and we don't use them in this formula, we just leave them where they are. We know that we need y1 and x1 is any point we want, and we already have it, y1 and x1, which is 3 and minus 3. And the slope is m, and we know that m equals 1. The slope is 1. So therefore what we can do here is we can say y minus 3 equals 1 into x minus 3. I'm going to ask you to put this part into your calculator, just this blue part here. Just put it into your calculator, and we're going to get this blue answer is going to be plus 3. All we got to do is multiply these out now. 1 multiplied by x is still x, and we're going to have x minus 3. I want you to bring over the 3. When you bring over the 3 over the other side, what happens is it becomes a minus number. Okay, and then we're going to get y equals x minus 6. Okay. K is the line 2x plus 3y minus 6 equals 0. K cuts the y-axis at point R. So if you imagine K, alright, K starts up here somewhere, and then what it does is it comes downwards, and then it hits the y-axis at point R. This is point R here. So we gotta find out what is point R, and we're told that we can let x equal 0. So point R is represented by 0, and we have to find out what this value in here should be, what the y value should be. So what we can do here is we can say it's 2 multiplied by 0, because 2x is 2 multiplied by 0. We can say that this is 3y here, and this is minus 6 equals 0. So what we're going to get next is 0 plus 3y minus 6 equals 0. Therefore 3y, and we're going to bring over the 6 over the other side, and we're going to get 3y equals 6. This 3 is multiplication on the left, so when we bring it over the other side, it's going to become division. So y equals 2. So this is the point 0, 2. Okay. Now, find the image of the point R. So what wants to happen here is wants R to go through S0, okay? Do we have it? It wants the image of R to go under 0, okay? S0 means central symmetry in the origin 0, 0. I'm going to show you what central symmetry means now. It's probably one of the first times you've seen central symmetry, okay? So the point R is 0, 2. So I'm going to use this diagram here to do this, right? This is R here. R is 0, 2. What you have to do is you have to bring it all the way down into the middle and then extend it the same distance back. So the image of R will be 0 minus 2. Okay? So the answer for this question here is going to be 0 minus 2. Okay. Now, to actually do this question, to start this question, also a mass for this question is to write down the coordinates of the point T. The point T is located here, and remember it's x followed by y value. My x value is minus 2, and my y value is going to be minus 1. Okay, now I'm on the next question. Once again, I want to find the midpoint. Okay, so the midpoint is, the formula for midpoint is going to be x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. We got our name our points. This one here is going to be x1, this one here is going to be y1, this one here is going to be x2, and minus 7 is going to be y2. So all we got to do is just put it into our formula. Okay. When we put it into our formula, what we're going to get is 3 plus 1 divided by 2. We're going to get y1, which is 5, plus minus 7 divided by 2. Remember, put all minuses inside brackets. So what we can do here is we can just put this part into our calculator, and we can just add 3 and 1 together. 3 and 1 together, no real need for a calculator there. It's going to be 4 over 2. 5 plus minus 7, put that into your calculator, and you're going to get minus 2 divided by 2. Okay, next step, 2 parts of the calculator, put this into your calculator. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then put this part here into your calculator. It's going to be the purple part here. Minus 2 divided by 2 is going to be minus 1. So the answer is 2 minus 1. Okay, the slope of PQ. Now the slope formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is going to get minus 7. It's y2, y1 is 5, so minus 7 minus 5, x2, check up again, x2 is 1, minus x1, x1 is 3. Put this into your calculator. The green part here is going to turn into minus 12. Put this bottom part into your calculator, 1 minus 3 into your calculator, and you get minus 2. Now, Enter all of this into your calculator one more time, and what you're going to get the answer here is 6. Okay, so the slope is 6. You're asked to find the equation of the line PQ. Equation of the line formula is y minus y1 equals m and the x minus x1. What I told you at the start is the y and the x are protected, you never change them. And what we know is that our point x1 y1 is 3, 5. This is x1 y1. Okay, so what we're going to get is y minus 5. Now our slope we got in the second question, we need a slope. Slope is 6. M equals 6, or the slope equals 6. That's going to be 6 into x minus x1, which is x minus 3. What we're next going to do is we're going to multiply these out. And what we can get here is 6x minus 18. Y minus 5. All we got to do is just bring it over to your side. So y equals 6x minus 18 plus 5. Y equals 6x minus 13. Okay, that's the 6x minus 13 is the equation of the line. Okay, so this is your answer here. Okay, that's the equation of a line. Now, find the image of a point A under SY, axial symmetry in the y-axis. Okay, point A excuse me, I do believe we're missing a question here. Yeah. Un momento. Okay, so this question, L is the line 7x minus 2y plus 14. This is the equation of a line. L cuts the x-axis at A, which is minus 2, 0, and the y-axis at B. By letting x equals 0, find the coordinates of B. So the y-axis intercept basically means x is 0. We know that x is 0, and we know that all points are x, y. So we need to find out what the y value is. So we know that 7x minus 2y plus 14 equals 0. So what we know is that 7 times 0 is 0. Minus 2y plus 14 equals 0. So let's bring the 14 over this side. 7 times 0 is 0, so that doesn't matter. So we're going to get here is minus 2y equals minus 14. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring the minus 2 down. So y equals minus 14 divided by minus 2. Y equals 7. Okay, so that's going to be the point 0, 7. Okay, the next part. Now remember that A is minus 2, 0, okay? So, it wants to find the image of the point A, point A. So A is 0, is minus 2, 0. Okay, this is A. And it wants to find it under axial symmetry in the y-axis, okay? So this means it wants to go through the x-axis like it's a mirror, right? So if the point A is here, it wants to go through the y-axis like a mirror and come out the same distance on the other side. And that's the image of A, okay? This is the image of A right here. So if you imagine, what we're going to do is just going to draw a few lines here. Okay, so what you can imagine is this is our y-axis here. That's our mirror. Okay, and we know that A is minus 2, 0, okay? So we're going to do, so say that's minus 1, minus 2, we call this 1, 2, 3, this is our y-axis, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, it's going to be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. And what we know about A is minus 2, 0. Okay, so this is what A is. So let's write where minus 2, 0 is. This is the point minus 2, 0 here. And we want to see how far it has to go to get to the y-axis, and then how much further is the image like it's in the mirror. So the mirror image of this is going to be this much in and this much out. So the answer is going to be 2, 0. Okay. So A and S equals 2, 0. Okay. Next question. The next question, we have to locate A and B. Now remember, once again, it's X and Y. Okay. What is the X value? What is the Y value? Okay. The X value is 1. The Y value is 2. This is the point A. For this one here, the X value is minus 3. The Y value is minus 2. This is the point B. Okay. Next part. We got to find the length of the line. Alright. So the length of the line is basically the square root of, we need to find the formula for the length of the line PQ. This is the point P, which is, that makes that one x1, makes this one y1. So 2 is x1, 1 is y1, x2 is 4, and y2 is 3. Okay, so we're going to get here is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, and what this can do here is the following. You can say that x2 is going to be 4 minus x1, which is going to be minus 2 squared, plus y2. Y2 is going to be 3 minus 1 squared. Okay, so what we have here is basically it's going to be the square root of, and this is going to be, put this into your calculator. If you put all of this straight into your calculator, you can just get the answer right away. I'll break it down. So what I'm going to get is 2 squared plus 2 squared. I'm going to put this into my calculator. I'm going to get 4 plus 4, and that's going to give me root 8. Okay? And root 8 is the exact same thing as 2 root 2. If that's what comes up to your calculator, press the change button on your calculator, and you're going to get 2.83 as the distance. Okay? Now, find the slope. The slope of the line is given by the letter m. M is the slope, which makes this y2 minus y1 into x2 minus x1. Look up the top and make sure you know that what y2, x2, y1 and x1 are. Go back down the bottom here, and what we can say is that y2 is the number 3, y1 is the number minus number 1, x2 is number 4, minus x1 is minus the number 2. And what we're going to end up here is 2 over 2, and this equals 1. The next thing we have to do is get the equation of a line. The equation of a line is given by y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do this. We're going to get y. What is y1? y1 is the number 1. Remember, the y and the x do not get substituted in for. And then the value of m is 1 from the last question. M equals 1. We know that the slope equals 1 from part 2 of the question. And then what we know is x has to stay the same, and x1 is minus 2. The next thing we got to do is we got to multiply this out, as we always do with the brackets. Okay, so we get y minus 1 equals x minus 2. Bring over the minus 1 on the other side, so y ends up to be x minus 2 minus 1. When it crosses the equal sign, changes into plus 1, then y equals x minus 1. That's your answer. Okay, now next question. The line L is 2x plus 3y minus 10. The line L cuts the x-axis. Okay, so if you imagine that what we have here is something like this, 3, and it's going to come downwards. Okay, we want to find out where it cuts the x-axis at the point C. So this is the point C here. Okay, and what we know about the x-axis is that the y values are always 0. So we know that y equals 0. Now we just have to find out what is the x value, what goes in this box to give us the coordinates. Remember, coordinates are an x and a y value. We know the y value is 0, but what is the x value? So to find out the x value is we got 2x plus 3y minus 10 equals 0. Then it's going to be 2x plus 3 times 0 minus 10 equals 0. We know that 3 times 0 is 0. Bring the 10 over the other side. A minus 10 turns into a plus 10 when it goes over the other side. Now we have multiplication by 2 on the left, which means it's going to be division by 2 when it gets to the right. And then we know that x equals 5. So this is the point 5, 0. Okay, is the point C. Now, show that 8 minus 2 is on the line. Okay, so it's 2x plus 3y minus 10 is the formula for the line. Show that it's on the line. So if it's on the line, and the word show means it is on the line, so if it is on the line, this equation should balance when I replace x with 8 and y with minus 2. 2 times 8 plus 3 times minus 2 minus 10 equals 0. 16 minus 6 minus 10 equals 0. 2 multiplied by 8 is 16. 3 multiplied by minus 2 is minus 6. 16 minus 6 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. 0 is equal to 0. This is true. Hence, point is on line. Okay, point is on the line. Now, K is the point. The point K6 is on the line L. This means that it too balances the equation. So it's that 2x plus 3y minus 10 equals 0. The x value must be k and the y value must be 6. So 2 times x is replaced with k, y is replaced with 6, minus 10 equals 0. 2k plus 18, 3 multiplied by 18 minus 10 equals 0. Now remember, you have to add the two normal numbers together, okay? So what we're going to get is 2k plus 8 equals 0. Now we want to get the k on its own. To get the k on its own, we bring the 8 over to the other side. So we're going to get 2k equals minus 8. We want to get rid of this 2, because we want to find the value of k. This means k on its own. The 2 is stopping the k from being on its own. So it's going to be k equals minus 8 divided by 2. The 2 goes underneath. And this means k equals minus 4. Okay? And that's your revision ended for the coordinate geometry section.